But for now, MVP has to deal with the situation as it is. And we have him now starting on Ohana. He's starting to top left of the map. The LG-IM Terran player, one of the best players, probably the best player in the entire world if you just look over the entire period of StarCraft 2. Right now, of course, life and partying are on top of the world, but still MVP. If you win 4 championships, you definitely did something really well.
You did something right, man. That's for sure. I was curious about this because you cast a lot more European tournaments than I do. Do you know Miniraser, who he is? I'm actually not familiar with this player at all.
I casted a few of his games, and he actually played really well. To be honest with you, at the beginning, I mixed him up when I saw the group. It was announced as Mini, and I actually thought that it was one of the Korean minis that would be
Yeah,
playing
that's actually
here.
what I thought too, and I was
So-
really shocked. I was like, wow, Castle players are playing IronSquid. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was gonna happen, but
Yeah, I didn't know that it was Miniraser. He was introduced as Mini, and we have a couple of minis in Korea as well.
Yeah.
So I just realized when Hearthstone tweeted at me, because I couldn't find the Twitter for Mini. I still assumed it was the Korean player, and then Hearthstone tweeted at me, "Oh, his Twitter account is, by the way, I think WW Miniraser." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so it's actually the European player, not the Korean one." So yeah, I've casted a few games of him. He did really well. He's kind of known in the European ladder as well, but didn't really have his breakout performance just yet, where he could show everyone. But that might happen today.
Yeah.
If he advances in such a tough group, that would be kind of amazing for him. That would of course be brilliant. But he's up against very tough opponents, so it's definitely not going to be easy.
yeah. I like his username, man. It's kind of like something I would bring with me when I travel. That I would take to the hotel and I'd be able to shave with it.
Yeah, I guess. You know, I actually earlier when we started, Jadong was also live streaming, and by now I think someone told him that IronSquid is live. He stopped his stream, and I'm pretty sure
He was like,
he's
"Oh,
watching right now.
I can't wait to tune in." Exactly, that's exactly what Jadon was thinking, man.
Yeah, he saw that IronSquid was online, and his first thought was, "What? Really? Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I enjoyed streaming a lot for you, but right now I have to watch the tournament. It's just too awesome. Those French guys are doing such an amazing production."
He's actually, yeah, he's the biggest IronSquid fan you wouldn't expect.
He's a little bit sad, you know, because he can't participate in himself. I mean, the next time, I guess we will have a few Casper players in here, but now he just couldn't. He wanted to, but he couldn't.
Yeah, you're exactly right, man. And I think he would probably be disappointed about that, but maybe next time. He's probably a big Miniraser fan, though, so he's probably excited to see how he's going to do against MVP.
And all jokes aside, Jadong stated several times that he's a huge fan of Stefano's playstyle, that he really likes what he does, so he might actually watch the tournament now. I'm even not kidding. I mean, Stefano is gonna be playing, and there is a pretty good chance that Stefano is going to meet MVP, and this should be a very good game.
During the time when he was saying that about Stefano, they were actually not yet teammates, but now they are, so that's even more reason for him to watch.
Right now, as you can see, we have a very normal opening in this game. And Mini is currently just playing it kind of standard without gas so far. To the top left, we have LG-IM's MVP with a double gas already.
Yeah. Just going into very normal play. This is, of course, Wings of Liberty, by the way, not to confuse anyone who's been tuning in from the beginning, thinking this is the Hardest Storm tournament. So that was just a show match earlier. This is 100% WLL here.
Yeah. After the Wings of Liberty show match, shit got real. So now we are here at our IronSquid group. This is the last chance for 2 players to advance. GSL style group system, the group stage, and well, this is going to be pretty amazing. These players today, I think Stefano definitely one of the favorite players here. MVP also. It depends a little bit on how well Mana can deal with his Zerg opponents today. This is kind of his weakness in the past, that he was struggling against Zerg a lot. So if he feels good today against Kerrigan's servants, then he might be able to get out of this group. Well, all 3 of them are the favorite players here. I feel I couldn't tell you who's going to advance. Miniraser, on the other hand, he has his work cut out for him.
He does. Those Zerglings had their work cut out for them, but it just didn't. They weren't cut out for the job. Hellions taking them out. We will be able to check that for the 3rd. And MVP doing something we very rarely see anymore these days, but the only player who really keeps showing it and has always shown it is MVP himself. He's going for Cloak, one of the many researches you can get at that tech lab. And he's going to be able to delay this third expansion with these Hellions. He's going to even kill the drone. And if, oh, he didn't manually target, so the drone gets away. Then he starts to manually target a bit too late with the Hellion. Oops.
That drone screwing up a little bit, not going for the mineral walk and just being blocked by the queens, and then suddenly like, no, I have to change something, and then with the mineral walk.
This time he won't escape.
I think didn't that drone make you look silly?
He must have been on hold position, man. There's nothing I could do. I'm pretty sure he was on hold position.
The drone was like, no, Wolf, I'm not gonna die today.
After that happened with the earlier Hellions dying, MVP was telling his head, he's like, stay.
Well, Latic now going down for Mini, and he has, of course, now a lot of gas already on 4 extractors. We have double upgrades. He's heading into a more of an infestor style here with a very ling-heavy upgrade strategy that he has. Bailiness as well, and he knows about his opponents. Yeah, Banshees. So we have Spore Crawlers now as well. The bottom left is still occupied by a Hellion that tries to take down our drone, but now the drone is safely tucked away. The Lynx trying to get the better of those Hellions, but there are a lot of them.
Yeah. And oop, there he goes. A little bit of damage. That was an okay trade for both players. Neither player really getting an edge there. As long as it doesn't get into that mineral line, that's what Miniraser is concerned about. And now Viking coming out to clean up the Overlords, and here come the Banshees. He's hidden them until they come in together.
Yeah. The Vikings have been hidden, but Miniraser was able to scout what's going on, so can MVP actually do damage? Oops, that's my call. That's a little bit lost. That was Spore Crawler.
Yep, he can one-shot a drone with 2 Banshees, but he decides to go for the Queen instead. The Queen comes back to defend, that's when he's going to take out the drone, so...
You know, it didn't really work for MVP, but I have to say that this is something that I haven't seen in a while, and which I really think is pretty cool. If you go for Banshees, that you hide them until you have 2 or 3, and then you attack. This is something that most players won't do. They will attack for the first Banshee right away, and then do a bit of damage. But if you can blindside your opponent with that, you can win the game immediately. It's of course a little bit more risky, because if he scouts it, you will have so much more time to prepare, but still, it's a pretty cool strategy. I like that. Yep. Didn't work out in this game though.
It didn't, not quite. He's gonna use the Banshees now, but the only thing they know how to do at this point is to kill destructible rocks.
Yeah.
The Hellions still have quite a presence on the map though, and they're gonna shut down any Ling run-bys at the third, but that Overlord spread is the most annoying thing ever for MVP right now. He finally clears the Overlord up. The Queen count's starting to get pretty scary, so the Banshees are relatively useless at this point, but MVP is someone who's known to, after he gets that cloak research, go into the late game with more Banshees.
And for all the Zerg fans, I'm happy to report that Dustin, the drone, is still alive. So I feel that if we don't have a Hellion run by, it will be able to survive the game.
Yeah, unless there's a big drop later as well.
Or there are some collapsible rocks at some point. Well, +2/+2 being researched, speed for the roaches, and the roach strategy here, of course, also is the beauty what we see from MVP. MVP is going into neck. We have the triple factory already, therefore you need to have a few drones. And well, right now we have Mini on 3 bases. He needs a few more drones at his third. He's at 59 harvesters, so very low.
Very fast hive, wow.
A fast hive.
This is like Antigua shipyard style.
But he's going into infestors to slow push down, and he has those roaches already, but he needs more drones. If you're playing against this type of strategy, you need a good economy behind it, and now we have the 8 drones that he needs to saturate his base at the bottom left.
Yeah, he doesn't make those. If he doesn't make those drones, then he's basically got this hive tech for a second where he can make 1 round of hive units, and then he's basically out of money, and if he loses a fight, then MVP is just going to take the game. MVP takes a 4th command center here, wants to gear up for the late game.
Yeah, the 4th also tanking for Mini, and MVP does not have Blue Flame yet. He doesn't have a lot of damage potential, there's no aggression coming from him. He's just trying to get his army size up and hit with 1 huge attack. With a fast hive tech that we have, if he's not able to hit before the Broodlord's out, he's gonna run into a big problem though.
Yeah, he's got that mech army prepared and building. I'm excited to see what he's gonna show us here, considering that MVP is one of the best mech Terrans in the world. Actually, I don't think it's disputable. I think he is the best.
This is not really what I expected. An
Yeah.
Ultralisk Cavern against mech? I'm not quite sure how successful that's gonna be. I'm not a huge fan of Ultralisk against the mech playing Terran player.
Yeah, I mean he's ahead in upgrades, of course, because you know it's a meching Terran. So he's gonna have 3-3 right before 3-3 is done for MVP. But I don't know how much I like this either. It all comes down to the engagements, and the crease spread is good. That's gonna help out, but with good siege tank splits and just the damage output of this type of army from MVP, I think he should be okay.
Yeah, siege tanks, especially when they are when only a few of them are sieged up and the others are in assault mode, you can do so much damage against your opponent's Ultralisks. You also have the Thors at the front, and Thors are doing really well. The big problem that you have is that all these Terran units are ranged, whereas the Ultralisk are of course melee, so they will block each other while all the Terran units are able to attack. The idea is to fungal the Hellions at the front so that you can take them down, but if the Terran player is able to hide the Hellions behind the rest of the army, the Zerglings that usually come to the Ultralisks don't do too much. They will die right away, and then the Ultralisks alone are usually not strong enough to take down the Terran player. So usually you see Broodlords.
Yeah.
And Broodlords are really strong against mech.
It makes Broodlords against mech make you really have to struggle to make the right maxed out army because you can't make too many Vikings when you switch to Ultras. You can't make too few Vikings and you can't deal with the corruptors, and the tanks only ground resistance. One thing we do not see from MVP in this game, which I'm a little disappointed about, is producing additional Banshees. Just sticking with the first two he had. If he made more Banshees, that would even be better against the Ultras. I don't think he expects he's going to face Ultras. He doesn't know just yet, but these Banelings are not quite finished in time to be useful. They're actually just going to have to run away.
Yeah, we have the Ultralists out now, and both of them are nearly maxed out in supply, but MVP is just in the better position, I would say. He's cleaning up the creep tumors now, he's in a good position on creep. He doesn't engage too much, but here comes the army for Mini, and the one thing that I really love about his play is that he uses queens and will use them to use those Ultralists, but still, if that's enough, we're gonna find out right now. A good position for the Terran player.
Yeah, the choke point is so good. Reinforcements around the other side. He's actually losing tanks on the left side. Good bungles here, but even with tank mode against Ultras is what you want in this case, and it works out really well.
Yeah, he does so much damage, and the Queens didn't even have a chance to transfuse enough. So suddenly the supply drops for Mini down to 150, and he's
Changelings is so funny to me. It's like MVP sees that changeling, he's like, I don't build Marines. He's like, that's not mine.
Wait a sec. Where did you come from? Well, and here we go. Once again, tank mode against those Ultras. You can see how much damage MVP is able to dish out here. And he also has a bank, a huge bank.
Now he's using those just two Banshees. He's splitting them well against those investors trying to target them down.
Neural Parasite, that's an upgrade that is pretty useless against this composition.
Yeah.
If it was a heavy Thor composition, then I mean, what are you gonna neural? A tank?
Yeah, the thing is, if you neural a tank, maybe it dies because of all the fire of the tanks around it.
Well,
But
the planetary at least was taken out.
that's pretty useful. But the thing is, can he hold MVP's attack now? He lost the field with that attack. He's so heavy in Ultralist. In fact, he's making 5 additional Ultralists. Like you said before, I think you made a great point. It becomes a problem with Ultras because you have so many of them, they can't fight each other. Half of them on their back stuck and not able to really shoot, but he gets a good bundle here, and the best Terrans go down.
That's the best engagement that Mini could hope for, but he's still dropping in supply. I mean, at this point he had the surface area for the fight that he wanted, but it's just not enough, as you can see. There are still too many tanks. We have decent upgrades for MVPs on 2-2 going into 3-3. This is just too much for Mini to deal with. The resources lost are horrible for the Zerg player. He's down 5,000 already.
And it's 4 base against 4 base. Well, it was until just recently, so that's that one advantage he has. But MVP is not only remaking that base, but also making 3 additional command centers. The Banshees are a big annoyance. That Spore Crawler said he has had enough.
Yeah, 4th base for MVP of course has to be rebuilt. There's still 4 bases for Mini, and this is the advantage that he has.
Check the kills on those Vikings actually. They've actually got now 6 Overlord kills, and they are just a big annoyance at this point. Oh, drones going down over here at the 4th.
And the siege tanks moving in. And you can see that only half of them are in siege mode. That's exactly what you need to do against Ultralists. So what's going to happen if Mini just now starts to engage? Siege tanks are getting their first shots off. The rest of the siege tanks are shielding the ones in siege mode. Can do the damage. Even control the choke point. Very good positioning by MVP here. And Mini is really struggling to find an edge.
Exactly, he's going for another counterattack. He changes his
depleted.
mind at the last second, which is important because he could have killed that base easily, but he realizes that he's already done that before, but it's not enough. He needs to fight this army. But look at that, only really 4 siege tanks in siege mode. The rest of the tanks do the maximum damage output with the splash support. This is going to be an MVP will be able to take this game here. A good showing by Miniraser, but he is up against the best Terran player in the world.
The Ultras are blocking each other. We have 26 siege tanks. This is just way too much fun.
I think Goody right now is computer at home is giving a slow clap, very pleased with the play that we were seeing from MVP. And
I think it's not only a slow clap, Goody is probably jumping up and down in his apartment. Like, that's how it's done.
he's doing some air guitar.
GG. Game over.